Welcome to the Michelle G Show. I am super excited about being back another month for another episode, and I'm glad you're here to join me. I just want to let you guys know, forgive my voice, I'm a little bit under the weather, but the show must go on. I'm excited about the show today because I have a wonderful, sweet young lady that I met a couple of months ago, and from the day I met her, our energy just intertwined. She's just such an energetic, motivated person that you can't help but to love her. And we just connected right away. And we have a love for sunflowers, hence my dress today. We have a love for sunflowers, and that was a good sign for me. She is funny and energetic, motivating, and I can say a whole lot more about her, but I'm gonna read a little bit about her on her bio, and then I'm gonna bring her on and let her tell you some stuff about herself. I'm talking about Miss Darnella S. Parsons. She's a native of Georgetown, South Carolina, and received her formal education in Georgetown County, South Carolina, where she graduated in the top 15% of a Georgetown high school class of 2009. Ms. Parson continued her education at Williamsburg Technical College and now Stryers University. And I think I pronounced that wrong, but you know how I am with words. Where she is a candidate for her Bachelor's in Arts degree in Business Administration with a concentration in Human Resource Management. While Parson has always spent time has spent time in Tennessee, she currently resides in Salters, South Carolina, home of the historical Salters Plantation House. Miss Parson is a loving, devoting mother of two energetic and athletic sons. At the early age of 16, and while in high school, Miss Parsons birthed one of her greatest blessings, her son, Sam, and later Miss Parsons welcomed her pride and joy, Chase. After working odds and end jobs as a telemarketer and manufacturer to provide for her two sons, as a single mother, Miss Parsons realized she had a greater purpose, a calling in life. Miss Parsons discovered her passion and purpose for helping others through spreading positivity and inspiration and giving back to the community. But lacking guidance and how to fulfill such, Miss Parsons began exploring avenues on how to make her vision become a reality. In February of 2019, Ms. Parsons hosts a vision board workshop. It was through this workshop Ms. Parsons made her vision a reality and began fulfilling her passion and purpose. Ms. Parsons at once found her niche in life, becoming notoriously Nellie, the visionary. We're going to take a real quick break, and after the break, I'm going to be joined by my special guest today, Ms. Darnella S. Parsons. We'll be right back with the Michelle G Show. to the Michelle G Show. As you can see, I am joined by my wonderful guest, Darnella S. Parson. Welcome, Darnella.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I know. You guys, I am so happy that she's here because, like I was saying before the break, she is just the most energetic, inspirational, and motivating young lady that I've ever seen. And to be her age, and I'm going to jump right into the questions because I think that's the one thing that surprised me about you. So I don't like to prolong it because, believe it or not, an hour goes by quickly. The one thing that surprised me was a person of your age being as solid and anchored as you are, and knowing what you want. That really that really surprised me. It touched a spot in me because at your age, I didn't know what I was doing. I was literally all over the place, and it was only recently I'm almost 47 years old, and it was just recently that I found out what I wanted to do, and what I was good at, and what I was called to do. Being your age, I guess I'll start here because that was the one thing that caught me first about you. Being your age and having people your age that you hang around, has it been a challenge being as steadfast and as anchored as you are, still communicating and being with the younger age group of the people of your age?
It has been a big challenge. Most of the time, people my age, and I'm 28. I just turned 28 August 10th. Um, Most people at my age, they don't know where they want to be in life. They're not in a mind frame to find out where they want to be in life, and they take anyone that's helping and guiding them as a threat. So I'm not into a lot of things that the average 28-year-old are into. So majority of my friends, and I use that term well, a majority of my friends, my real friends, they are older, like old enough to be my mom,
Really?
really. But it's a different level of communication because when I do have that time where I do want to fly off the handle and be the average 28-year-old, that mindset, they're like, no, we're not doing that. As opposed to someone that's, my age or in the younger generation, they be ready for nonsense. And I ain't about that life.
And see, I think that that's a good thing because you have the older generation that you hang with. That's where that wisdom comes from.
Most
When I've
definitely.
talked to you, or even on our first time meeting, you were saying some things, and I was sitting beside you, and I was like, mm. We were at the restaurant, and I was sitting beside her, and she was saying some things like, that's good. And it shocked me. But now that you've told me that, I see where the wisdom comes from. Being around the older generation. You're right. A lot of the people in that generation, they're like I was. When I was her, I had no idea. And I was quick to fly off. I mean, real quick. Now, going from, I was quick to fly off. You may not know that about me. You may not see it, but trust me, I was quick to fly off. But going from that brings me to my next question. Going from that, do you think, because you said, I read in your bio, that at the age of 16, you gave birth to your oldest son, Sam, and then later you gave birth to your youngest pride and
Chase.
joy, Chase.
Yes.
So, do you think that having your children at that age has something to do with you? Because I know a lot of young ladies who had children at a young age and still don't have it together. Do you think that that had an effect on you? And why is that so? What made your situation and being put in that different from some of the other young ladies we may see?
It had a great impact. I always was considered a grandma, so I always had that old soul. But when I had Sam, I knew that it was not just me no more. So I had to protect him, and I had to grow up, and I had to mature even faster because I know that I wanted better for him, and a lot of it. I'm a research person. I love to read and research. And a lot of time the statistics, I researched that and it was like most time a single parent, a teenage mother has a 40% chance of graduating. And I was like, I can't be in that number. I'm going to graduate because a lot of bad things were said to me by people who were really close to me, and most of them were family, and they didn't know. They still don't know to this day that I know they said it, and I'm like, nah, we ain't about to do that. You're not gonna put your limitations on me. You're not gonna tell me just because I had my son at 16 that I'm not gonna be able to do this and I'm not gonna be able to do that. That's not what you're not about to do. So that had a great impact on me with me having my children. I don't recommend nobody have kids early. That's not what I'm telling y'all. But I had my oldest, like I said, oldest son at 16, my baby at 19. But I knew that it was me, and I had to provide for them. So that's a big part of me knowing where I'm at in life now. So it turned out to be a great impact on my life, my babies.
And you proven to those naysayers you did that by being in the top 15% of your class.
Yes, like they thought I wasn't gonna graduate. I went to school up until like I was 8 months pregnant, and we had stairs in Georgetown High, and I went up and down the stairs. And when I had to go out for homebound, I went out and I got everything straight with my teacher's paperwork and everything, and I would do my homework when my baby was sleeping. I would be doing my homework, so it wasn't nothing. I always was an honor roll student, like so that didn't change anything. It's just that I was like now I got a little person to go along with me. So it didn't change anything. My child didn't take my intelligence away. He didn't take my brain power away. He didn't take my mindset away. He increased it. He improved it. By me having him, I'm like, listen, I know I have to graduate school because I knew how hard it was to find a job. And again, this was 10 years ago without a high school diploma. And now you need a college degree basically to even work at Bilo. So I was like, I'm not going to let anything stop me. And I have to prove y'all wrong. And it's a little bit of competition in me, and I'm like, I be wanting to get revenge in a way, but I'm like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do it gracefully. I'm gonna get my degree gracefully and let y'all see that y'all ain't stopping nothing.
And that's the way you do it. You don't have to go out there. You don't have to be all in their face. You just do what you got to. You let your actions speak for you.
Yes, honey.
You let your actions speak for you. See, there I can see it coming out. If you guys, I'm gonna just put a side note right here. If you guys get a chance, go on her Facebook page. That's Donella Parson. Look her up because she does these videos. They little skits and commercials and stuff, and they are hilarious. You all need to check it out. I mean, I'm telling you, they are hilarious. And when she said that just a second ago, it kind of reminded me of that. When she said that in the tone that she said it and the language she used, it kind of reminded us. You guys got to check that out. I just wanted to put that side note in there just real quick. And now we're going to get back to the seriousness of it. Okay. You are I'm jumping right back in it. You are amazing to me. And the reason you're amazing to me is because, like I said, you took what other people would have thought as a failure and you turned it around. You let it be your motivation to still succeed. And I think that is something that I'm going to give you before we're going to take a quick break in a few moments. But before we go to that quick break, I want you to just tell somebody, just give an encouraging word to those young ladies out there who may be in a situation where they're pregnant and right now they don't feel like they can move on, they don't feel like they have nothing to give, or they're listening to the naysayers. What would you tell them at this point?
Ooh, honey, we can go on for days. What I would tell any young ladies that's that predicament or any situation where they feel they're stuck or trapped, first you have to tune out the naysayers. You're gonna have to do that. That's just first, because you can't progress when you having all this negativity around you, and it's so real. People don't believe that how words and thoughts could have an impact on your life. So you have to get rid of the negative people that's in your life, and you have to get the negative thoughts from yourself. Speak power over your life. I'm a strong believer that it is power in the tongue, especially in our thoughts. So we have to say positive things to ourselves every day. I am somebody. I will succeed. This will not stop me from accomplishing my dreams. Anything that you have, anything that you feel like you want to accomplish, say those things out to yourself every day, throughout the day, so that you can progress. The first thing again is just get rid of the naysayers. Because I mean, they're going to be around. You're going to have critics around you every day. If they're not criticizing you, and if they're not with you, then they're criticizing you. And a lot of people don't believe that, but I'm a strong believer of that. A lot of time they be criticizing you, and you think it's love, but it's not. Get rid of those type of people in your life and continue to press forward. Just get firm in your faith to whatever your faith is, and believe that you can press on.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. Now, what I want to talk about next, I called you the other day the vision board queen.
Yes, honey. Come on now.
And we're going to get into that in a little bit. When we come back from break, we're going to get into that. And I want to get into it for a couple of reasons. Because I believe that there's some people who don't know how to start a vision board. There's some people who don't even know the beginning steps of it. So we're going to get into that in just a few moments. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with the Michelle G. Show. Welcome back to the Michelle G. Show. And we're still talking to my special guest, Miss Donella Parson. We're going to get into her vision board. She is a visionary. And we're going to talk about vision boards. I'm interested in vision boards because I started doing a vision board about 2 years ago. And at first I was like, I honestly didn't know what it was. I didn't know how to start it. I didn't know what to do. And I was like, how to, somebody else showed me how. I want you to tell the listeners, number one, this is like a 2, maybe 3-part question.
Okay.
Explain to them exactly what a vision board is, how they can begin, and what is the purpose behind a vision board. What is the purpose of it? What is it supposed to help you do?
Okay, what a vision board is.
Yeah, we're going to go through.
Okay, we're going to break
We'll start that, and we're going to break it down. Okay.
What a vision board is, it's a visual representation of your goals, of your dreams. It doesn't have to be, and I'm an artsy person, and I'm a visual person. So it could be, some people just do words, some people do pictures. I prefer to cut out pictures out in magazines of things that pertain to your goals. And I have to always tell people, do not cut a picture out of Beyonce and put on your board if it has nothing to do with nothing. Now, if you're trying to get her money, I can understand. If you're trying to get her shape, I can understand. But don't just go cut no picture of that lady and put it up on your board if that ain't got nothing to do with your goals. Like, for example, on one section of mine, I have money. It's Monopoly money. Was in the magazine, so I cut it out, and it was a piggy bank because that's part of my financial part of my vision, that I want to be financially stable, a multi-millionaire. It's in the atmosphere. I just ain't got all my money yet, but it's coming. I feel it. So that is the purpose of a vision board. It is a visual representation of your goals that you want to accomplish.
Okay. That's the purpose of it. Now, for someone like I was in the beginning who had no clue of what I was doing, to do a vision board, and it seems like it's easy, what would you tell somebody, like you said in the beginning, how would they start? Like, how do they get to the point where, you know, to start the vision board? Because for me, I was lost. I kind of knew what I wanted to do, but then it was like, okay, somebody had to like walk me through the steps. And I know there's somebody out there that's just like me, that you had to literally walk them through.
It is, because a lot of people do not know what a vision board is. And when I say I'm having a vision board workshop, they, what's that? So when I tell them what it is, they're like, oh yeah, I'm interested in doing it. The first step is to actually think about what it is that you want to accomplish. Some people, you could do a vision board for 5 or 6 goals, or you may do it for one goal that you wanna reach. So like the first thing I always tell people is to stop and think about what it is you want to reach. What are the goals? And jot it down. I like to write, so I'm writing everything down. Write it down on a piece of paper and think about it. Before you even start looking for pictures or words to go along with those goals, I say go ahead and pick out the fears, so that we know that once they come, because while we're doing the vision board, your mind is still going to be thinking. So if you put on there a BMW because that's your dream car, and you say, well, I might not can't afford the maintenance, I can't afford this, go ahead and put your fears down. So once we watch, while you think about that, and if a fear come up, I already got that figured out. Don't worry about that. We ain't worry about that. I can't afford the maintenance on that. So that's the first step, is to think about it. Second step is to go ahead and list all the fears or whatever it may be, so that you can get that out the way. So once you see it, I know what you is, boo. You not even cute, so go on about your business. Then you ready for your final step, which is finding the pictures that pertains to the goals. And that's the fun part for me, because you start looking in the magazine. Sometimes I get distracted. I'll be finding articles and I'll be like, oh, look at this. The article be 4 or 5 years old, because they're just different magazines. So, but that's the fun part. If a goal may be you want to eat healthier, so you may cut out pictures of salads, and put that on there. If your goal is maybe you want to go back to school, so you may find somebody that's in a cap and gown and put that on there. So that's the steps of doing a vision board. And it does sound easy, but I promise you, once you start doing it, because you can get lost in the sauce. And when I say lost, you was ready. You was like,
wait, what sauce? What does that mean?
How you can get lost in the sauce is because once you going through the magazines and you're just finding pictures, then again your mind can start wandering to where you just see, oh, this is a cute dress, I'm gonna cut it out and put it on there. That dress ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
Like you said about Beyonce, don't put a picture of Beyonce up there if she has nothing to do with what your goals are.
Nothing to do with anything. Don't do that. You hurting yourself, because your vision board is for your vision, not nobody else. And it's what you want. Not if your mom wants you to go to school to be a doctor, but that's not what you want to do. Don't put no doctor on there. Don't work towards that if that is not your vision. That is the entire purpose of having a personalized vision board. And do it yourself. Don't let nobody do your vision board. Don't let nobody tell you what to cut out. Oh, this is a cute picture, you should put on yours. No, you put on yours. I don't want it on mine. No, we're not doing it. So that's the...
Now, one thing you said, and I've never heard anybody say that, when they talk about vision boards, the one thing you said was you see the goal, you see the picture, but then you write down your fear.
Yeah.
You write down your goal, but then you write down your fear. Nobody has ever mentioned that when they're talking about vision boards. And then when you think about it, those fears do come up.
They do, all the time. Every time I look at my vision board, I feel like, now what if I do that? Like, how am I going to get that done? I'm like, I already know what that is. That's an obstacle that you're trying to come over. One of my goals on there is to own a home. So I've gone through the process of that. So I know you have to get your credit right, all this good stuff, find a location, all that good stuff, right? So, but when I look at it, I'm like, oh, but that mean if I start doing this, I can't go out every weekend and go out to eat, or I can't get my hair done. All that is just fear, because I'm like, if I start saving up money, and if I do get a house, what if the refrigerator break? I need somebody to fix my lawn. Oh, why are you worrying about all that? Why are you worrying about all that? Go ahead. That's just a fear. That's an obstacle that you're not even there. You ain't even start yet. You ain't even let nobody pull your credit yet. But you worrying about somebody cutting your grass. No, come on now. That ain't gonna work. That is not gonna work. So it's just let them be known. I know that you're here. Mm-hmm. I know that you'll be there, but I ain't paying you no attention.
And see, that's good, and that's good because you don't think about it at that time, you know what I mean? And the fears do come. Whenever you try to do anything, whenever you try to move forward in anything, and the closer you get to it, the more, it seems like the more fear grips you. The
Hmm.
more fear grips you
If you allow it.
if you allow it. If you allow it. Now, me being who I am, and I know how the enemy pop things up.
Hmm.
He tries to pop things up, and like I was telling the producer of the show, Miss Regina Sunshine, this week has been a week leading up to this month,
Hmm.
and I said this is going to be a good show. I said it's going to be a good show because the enemy kept throwing things up, even had me questioning myself about the show. I even asked God. I said, God, I said, are you sure this is what you want me to do? And He reminded me, I opened this door.
Right. So why are you trying to close it? You trying to
Listen,
close? Why are you trying to close it though?
listen. And see, I would have never, this is not on my vision board. This was something that I spoke, but it wasn't on my vision board. Now, leading from that, when you do your vision board,
Hmm.
it shouldn't always stay the same.
No, it's gonna change. I mean, it may change daily, weekly, monthly. Because a lot of time, once you start, we gonna back up. Once you start working in your purpose, you will understand that things happen. It was because my mom actually said, "Well, how you met the lady that you doing the show?" And I was like, I told her the whole story, how I met Miss Tanya,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, first when Miss Tanya wrote me, I look at her profile, I said Miami, I said, this lady about to kidnap me and all that. So I was like, no. When we went to the first meet, I had my
Yeah.
boys. I'm like, she can't take all three of us. So, and it was just, that when how we talked and we connect and we vibe
Yes.
because I'm working and living in my purpose. So with that happened, now this happened.
Mm-hmm.
And you say, okay, we'll have the interview. Like this was not on my vision board either. But guess what? Sis is here, and I am sis. Right? You see what I'm saying? So it's just things that happen, and it will change, it will alter. But as long as you are living your vision in that process, then who knows? Then I mean, that's just the way. That's how
That's
it
right.
works, and that's how God does. He opened doors for us that we didn't even know were there. Because we have a plan. What they say, man make a plan, God laugh. Because we have our own plan that we feel like, oh, we gonna do this and it's gonna go this
Mm-hmm.
way, and everything happens. And God like, first of all, you think it's too small. I got greater for you.
Mm.
So a lot of time, your vision board it'll change, and that's fine. You have to be willing and accepting for it to change. Because a lot of time we have our mindset, no, I'm
Mm-hmm.
focused on just doing this. This is what I'm going to do. And God, like, listen, let me help you out. But we be
Mm-hmm.
stubborn,
We
or
stubborn.
we fear. Like, what if
Fear.
I ain't ready for that? God, like, listen, I'm putting you at the door. I opened it, and I'm putting you at the door. All you do is walk, take a step, and I got you.
That's good.
That's
That's
deep, ain't
good.
it? That's
That's
deep.
deep.
That's
That's real
deep.
deep. Yeah, I like that. That's good. That's good. Because a lot of times, excuse me, I told you guys I was a little bit under the weather. Excuse me. A lot of times, we don't think about it in that way. We don't think about the fact that, and sometimes I always like to say, when God is in it, the transition is easy.
Mhm.
The transition from one thing to the next is easy. It was an easy transition for this door to be open. That didn't mean that obstacles wouldn't come up, because obstacles have come up since I
Mhm.
started doing the show. But I thought about it. I said, Lord, this is what I want.
Mhm.
And I left it there. And the next thing I know, I got a message. And I said, ooh. And it was exactly what I asked for. God had already opened the door. But the door, because He knows our end,
Mhm.
the door was already open.
You
He's
just had to
just got,
get
yeah,
there.
I just had to get there.
Ooh, listen, honey.
I just had to get there.
And that's what I feel about visions. Um, it's going to happen. You just have to get there. Because I don't feel like God will give you a vision if it's not gonna happen. Whatever it is, you just have to get there.
Have to get there.
So it's a journey. You have to be willing and ready for that journey. I mean, you got to pack a lunch and take a friend. Because it's a journey. You got
Pack
to
a lunch and
go.
take a
Pack a
friend.
lunch and take a friend because you're going on this journey.
Listen, and we can either make it easy, we can make it hard.
I'm trying to tell
A
you.
lot of times we make it hard. Listen, listen. I'm gonna take a quick break. We're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna be back with Miss Donella Parson. We'll be right back with the Michelle G. Show. Welcome back to the Michelle G. Show. We're getting ready to move on a little bit further with Miss Donella. I did not tell you guys she was funny. And she's so serious about what she does. Now, I say serious and she go to laughing. She is so serious about what she does when it comes to vision. And if you noticed before the break, when we were talking about it, her tone changed. Her facial expressions changed. That's how you can tell that it's a passion for her. Another thing that is a passion for Miss Donella is motivational speaking. I want to talk to you briefly about the motivational speaking. Where did that come into play? When did you realize that that was something? Because for me, the reason I said this wasn't what I ever thought, because I didn't like to be in front of people. I was good in the cut, like staying back in the back. That I was good. Then yes, trust me, I was good at the door. Because I was an usher at the door, usher faithfully. And I liked standing to that door because all I had to say was, hey, and guide you to your seat. I was happy. Then God called me to minister. And I battled. I fought. I cried. I didn't want to do it. I ran until he finally told me, I finally knew I couldn't do it no more.
Okay, so you was like Jonah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I kept asking God to confirm it. He would confirm it. And then I said, God, are you sure? I just need to know that I know that it's you. And he finally told me through a service. He said, he used a vessel, one of his vessels to tell me, I said yes the first time. But you keep wanting me to confirm it. I'm preparing you now. I finally said, okay, Lord, I won't ask you no more. So I finally gave up. But I was fine at the back. I didn't want to get before the people and talk. But that's what he called me to. I didn't want to get up here and, do this. Mm-hmm. But obviously he called me for this.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, actually, I was on the radio before, but, you all know the story about that. Miss Regina Sunshine Robinson, the producer of this show, told me after being a guest on her show, you should be doing radio. I was like, really? And she's one of those people who don't give you time to contemplate or get out of it. She said, I know you're going to pray about it. I'm going to talk to you in a week. She talked to me in a week, and here we go. You know what I'm saying? 3 years later. So going from that and standing before people, talking, did you know that that was a part of who you were? Did you always know that you were meant to stand before people and speak to them? Or is that something that came? How did it come about?
I always knew because I was a star. Okay. I never was shy. I was always the life of a party. My dad, he used to call me Shindig, and I didn't know what that was till I looked up at the party because I'm a walking party. And I could just remember back from school where I would always be, just motivating people and just speaking positive and good things to people because people go through so much. And you start doing it and not thinking about it. And it would be times I could just see people in the store and they would just be, talking whatever about meat or something like that. They just go on. And I'd be like, well, no, you don't need to be like that. You can do this. Keep on going. And I just start going on talking to these random people I never see a day again in my life. And I'm like, oh, I'm motivating them. Like, oh, let me. And then when I did my first vision board workshop, that's what really put like the final glue on it and had it signed, sealed, delivered. Well, because I got, when I did my workshop and I was, speaking to everybody, I was like, oh, you just motivated me. And I would always keep in touch with those and everybody that attended a workshop, to make sure that they were doing a vision board, following the steps, saying their affirmations and different things. So that really just right there put, like I said, put the stamp on it that why not be a motivational speaker as well and motivate the people to accomplish their dreams, their goals, their visions, whatever it is. Just motivate them. I don't feel like it's hard. I guess because it's my purpose, but it's just I guess it is actually maybe hard for some people.
Yeah, for me, it's hard. It's hard. Like every time how do you, okay, this is how I'm gonna word this.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I had to find the right wording for this.
Mm-hmm.
How do you come up with your content? Do you already know? Do you have like an outline, or do you get up there and you just come from the heart?
I have an outline that I never go by. I have an outline that I never go by because I come from the heart. And it depends on who I'm talking to as well. Like I spoke at a church with youth. So with them, the conversation will be a little more different as opposed if I'm talking to adults. Because with youth, you have to relate on their level where they can understand because they're still taking it, one bite at a time, like real small, tiny bites at a time because they're lost in the sauce of where they going on with their life and where they want to go education wise, career wise, all that. So you just have to get them motivated to find one aspect of it and to keep going. As to where an adult, they may have, I have everything set. I just need to know the steps, or I just need that extra push. Like I want to do this, but I have a family. I'm too old to do this now. So those conversations and concepts are totally different. But majority of the time, it's from the heart. I put myself in people's shoes 98.97% of the time, and I just know what I would want somebody to tell me and to actually mean it. That it'll be all right. Don't tell me that. That is. Don't tell me that.
That seems to strike a nerve in you.
Yeah, if you want to say it'll be all right. No. What about it? What about it's gonna be all right? How do I know it's gonna be all right? How do you go sit there and tell me that it'll be all right when you never been in a situation? You're not even trying to be empathetic about it. You just want to give me sympathy. No, I can get that from a Hallmark card out of Dollar General for 50 cents. I need you to understand and feel where I'm coming from and say this and mean this from your heart. Would you want somebody to tell you, to tell your daughter, to tell your son, to tell your cousin, your grandma, if they were going through something, if they were trying to get to elevate and go in another level in life? So it's from the heart, sis.
You said that. When you said that, I could tell. That's one of the things that strikes a nerve with you.
It'll be all right. Don't tell me that.
And you know what? And I understand that, relating from a couple of different perspectives, and me being in ministry, a lot of times I run into people and people going through real life things, and they get tired of hearing, "Oh, I'm gonna pray for you." They get tired of hearing that.
Come on now.
And I understand, because when I was going through, I didn't want to hear that you're gonna pray for me. I need you to help me. If you got the wisdom and you done been through some things, don't act like you came out your mother's womb saved. If you've experienced something, tell me what you did to get where you are to come through this. Don't tell me you're going to pray for me. I appreciate your prayers. I do. But don't tell me that. Tell me what I need to do to get up from here. So I can relate to you on that aspect, because there's certain things you just don't want to hear. So even in ministering, I don't tell people, "Well, honey, I'm going to pray for you." No. Well, look here. This is how it is.
Yes.
And because that's what they relate to.
And that's where it is, like when I speak with the different age groups. Because being that I'm, like I said, I'm 28, but I have the wisdom, like I'm 82. I can, I can relate because I have that wisdom, and just to give to the younger generation. This is what's going on. This is some steps you need to take. This is what you do. This is an option. You never tell about what they should do because that's basically casting judgment. We can talk about that. But this is the option. This is how you help come out of that situation that you win, and also that I could still speak with like I said, the older generation too, because of the wisdom that I do have from being around the older folks. So, and because a lot of time there people, and especially in the church, we have when we go through things and we're working on our goals and our dreams. A lot of times it may be that it's not it's not tradition. So when it's not tradition, you have the older people that's set in their traditional ways. That the first thing they're gonna say is, "Okay, well, I'm gonna just pray for you. That you don't need to be doing that. She want to go out there and she want to be a movie star. She don't need to be out there in Hollywood. I'm gonna pray it out of her." What? First of all, how you gonna pray something out of me that God gave me that vision? First of all, so you already working against the Creator Himself. So I need to have a conversation with you. Bye bye. Backspace, beat, deleted. Okay, because you don't need to be in my life. So you have to really sit there and say, okay, well, if this is what you want to do, then we gonna get through this, and I'm gonna pray with you. Don't just pray for me, because you might be praying for my downfall. Pray with me. Come on, teach me how to pray. Because a lot of times some people don't even know how to pray,
Yes.
and a lot of times that's where our visions are not being a reality because we don't even know how to pray about it. We just say, oh, you know what? I paid my tithe Sunday. Lord said He could bless me with a car. Boom, I'ma get it. That's not how that works. Now that might be between you and God. That ain't got nothing to do with me. But you have to be able to know and understand what you're praying for, how to pray, how to manifest on your visions, how to turn your visions into a reality. And I feel like that's a common link that we're missing.
You're missing.
And that's what I'm here for. I'm
Missing.
that
You
link.
that link.
I'm that link.
You that link, and you could be that link between
Yes.
generations because
Yes,
you do
huh?
have that wisdom, and I can see that you're the one who will, like you said, get on their level. You don't sugarcoat it. And tradition, I'm not gonna get too deep into that because I'm not a traditional anything. I never have been. I'm not a traditional. I'm not your traditional elder. I'm not your traditional. I'm not a traditional anything. And it does mean like when you get stuck in tradition, it causes you miss out on a lot.
You do.
You miss out on a lot because and I say it all the time, the message doesn't change, but the method has to change because you have to figure out a way to meet and reach those who are now. As they grow, they have different things that they face. They have different things that they come up against. So the message never change. The message never changed. God is God. He's going to be God. He's the creator. He created heaven and earth. That's not going to change. The method has to change. Because there's some people who are not going to get it the way we got it back then.
Right.
So you can't, and for the older generation, like you said, the older generation, you could talk to them on a certain level because you got that wisdom. But you have to flip that switch. Because the younger people, if you approach them in that way, they're going to look at you like, and they're going to shut you off as soon as you start talking.
Right. And it defeats the purpose.
It defeats
and
the
then
purpose.
I'm not living in my purpose, and my work is in vain. And that's not what I always say. I don't want to be the Vincent Van Gogh of motivational speaking. And why I say that is because let me give you a little history. I like history too. Vincent Van Gogh, he was the painter, and his work did not sell until after he was dead. Nobody saw it when he was alive. No, it wasn't good enough. But after he died, that's when they start seeing his work. Now his work selling for millions and it's hang up all over. And I don't want my purpose to not be seen until I'm laid to rest. So that's why I'm doing the foot traffic, doing the work, running the race, so that my message can get out there and it can inspire the older and the younger generation. Because we have to do that. We have to change. And a big thing I'm on, and once I started doing my vision board, that's when all of this started coming about. That's why I say I feel like I'm on a spiritual journey that I didn't ask for. But I'm thankful and I'm grateful for this journey because a lot of times we have these generational curses on our lives, but we don't even know it. because we're so scared to go out and do what we're supposed to do, what we were called to do. I always say a job is the devil. Why I say that? Jesus ain't had no job now. Where in the Bible Jesus had a job? He had no job, but he was out there doing. He was in his purpose. And so when you're in your purpose, sometimes you may not have a traditional job, because that's conflicting with your purpose in life. But we want to sit there because we saw grandma do it, we saw mama do it, we saw daddy do it, we gonna do it too. And it's like now we just that's done 4 generations that you have of this curse that needs to be broken. And I feel like our generation is the generation that's breaking these curses. And big ups to anybody who is breaking curses, because it's like I said again, it is a hard process, and it's a journey that sometimes that you don't even ask for, that you just start going on, because when you start working in your purpose, like all of it ties together. So we have to, first of all, be willing and ready to walk in our purpose so that we don't have this, and to be strong enough to break these curses. And you're gonna have, like you said, attacks from the enemy all type of way, and it's gonna come from people who that you thought was your best friend, people who you, like I said, was your family. All that you're gonna lose people on that journey because they're not ready for it. And so you're gonna have to be strong about it. But it's a journey. That's all I can say.
See, you said a whole lot in that, but we got to take a quick break because it's almost time to end the show. And uh, I don't want to end the show because it's
I
just
don't
getting
want to
to
end
the
it
point where
either.
it's just getting really, really good and really getting into it. But we're going to take a quick, maybe minute break, and we're going to be right back to close out the show. We'll be right back with the Michelle G Show. Welcome back to the Michelle G Show. It is almost time to close out the show. This is always a sad part for me because it seems like when we get to this part, the show is really just getting picked up and we're getting into it. But we're gonna close out. We're gonna finish up with my dear, I'm gonna say friend,
Yes, honey.
Darnella. Darnella, and we're going to close out with her real quick. But she's going to give her a moment to let you guys know what's coming up with Darnella, and then I'm going to give you guys a few minutes of the baggage claim moment. So, Miss Darnella,
Yes,
can you
ma'am.
tell the listeners as we before we do the baggage claim moment, what's upcoming for you, where they can find you?
Okay. Y'all can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Notoriously Nella. That is my business page, or even my personal page, Donella, Donella Parsons. And like and follow my pages. Also in September, the ending of September 28th, I will be in Columbia, South Carolina, at a networking um, empowerment event hosted by Nikisha Smith. And all that information is on my social media as well. And also in December, that's when it's going to be the big extravagant show, which I'm super excited about. It's 8 women in power coming to you with all types of goodies. Y'all have to go on my social media and find that. That's all I can tell y'all. I'm gonna just give y'all a little bit, give y'all a little bit. But of course, yes, follow me on Facebook and Instagram, Notoriously Nella.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being on today. Um, just one last thing.
Yes, ma'am.
When you were talking about, and I don't want the audience, excuse me, what she meant when she was saying that Jesus didn't have a job. It's comical, but she wasn't meaning, that you're not supposed to work a job.
I didn't say
Because,
that.
people take things to the left. So we're going to clarify that. That's not what she meant. What she meant was working in your purpose. Don't get stuck in tradition because your grandma did it, your mama did it, your great aunt did it, your daddy did it, and you feel like that's what you have to do, and that's all you have to do. We all have a purpose. And until you are fully working in your purpose, God is not getting the glory. And everything, and I say this all the time, everything you do is for God to get the glory. And if he's not getting the glory, then there's no purpose in you doing it. And that's what she was saying. And if I'm wrong, please correct
Oh
me
no, you're right.
so that you guys can understand. I work a 9 to 5,
Girl, me too.
but this is my purpose. I work a 9 to 5, but me being on the radio on Wednesdays is my purpose. So writing is my purpose. All these different things, those are things that are I'm purpose to do. Speaking and preaching the gospel, that's my purpose. So all of that, but I still work a 9 to 5. It's not that I'm just not sticking to tradition and doing what my family did because my family did it. You guys need to be, that's what I think that's what you were
Yes,
meaning when you
ma'am.
were saying that.
Hmm.
So because like I said, people take things to the left.
Yeah, don't go quit your job because you cannot move in with me. Because Sam and Chase is already there, and they need to find them a job.
Listen, and I don't have no more room in my house either. So stay at your job. Just don't take it the wrong way. That's what she meant when she said that. And just that was just to give some clarity.
Yes.
Because I really like the way you said that because it also went back to that when you said the generational curses, it also
Hmm.
went back to knowing how to pray.
Yes.
You have to know these things and recognize these things. Ask God to take the scales off your eyes so that you can see these things so you'll know what to pray for and you know
Hmm.
what to pray against, what to bind and
Hmm.
what to loose in your life and in your family's life. That's what she meant, and that's what I feel you meant when you said, yeah.
Yes.
And it all ties in. See, it all ties in together.
It all ties
It
in.
all ties in together. Now, before I end, you guys know I always do this baggage claim moment. It's going to be a real quick one today. I pulled out a baggage claim from my box here, and this is from an event I had did with my book, Baggage, Drop the Weight. And this person said, dropping the baggage when it comes to people, dropping people and taking care of myself. That's a heavy one. I'm going to take my glasses off of this. I'm going to try to do this in a few minutes. That's a heavy one for a couple of reasons. Because, like I said in the book, there is a chapter in the book about dropping people. And it's heavy because when you carry the thoughts and opinions of other people, it's literally like carrying another person.
Hmm.
How somebody feels about you is none of your business.
Mm.
Your job is to do what God has called you to do. There's always going to be naysayers. Like my lovely guest said, there's
Always.
always going to be naysayers. Even if it's family, you have to cut those naysayers out of your life. And they're still going to be your family. You can't not be, you don't pick and choose your family. They
Mm-mm.
are who they are. But sometimes you have to learn how to love them from a distance. And I can talk personally on this because of some things that I'm going through personally. I won't be that transparent right now on the show, but even some things I'm going through personally with my family. I'm learning how to love them at a distance
Hmm.
because I know what God has given me to do. And I can't let that hinder me or stop me. So, what I want to say to you, if you're listening and if you catch it on the replay, if you're carrying people, drop it and let it go. You
Period.
are who God says you are. You can do what God said you can do. You can accomplish any goal that you set forth that God has given you the blueprint and the design to do. Don't listen to the naysayers. It doesn't mean that they're not going to be there. They're going to be there. But you got to learn how to tune them out. You got to learn how to walk away. You got to learn how to see and not see, hear and not hear. That's what it took for me to drop these people. Like I said before, I was carrying, it meant so much what other people thought about me that I tried to change myself so much I didn't even recognize who I was. And that's not a good place to be. And once you stop examining your life and examining those people who are around you and realizing, ask God, God, show me who I'm supposed to be connected to. Show me who you have that's going to help me get to that next level. Now understand, you may be connected to one person now, and when you get to the next level, not that that person has done wrong, but it's time to disconnect to that person because the next level that you go to, they can't go with. That doesn't mean that they've done anything wrong. So understand, everybody that God connects you to is not always a lifetime connection. So don't get it twisted, don't get it mixed up. But those people who, when you know God has told you to do something, and you know that's the path you're leading into, and you're trying to walk into it, and you have those people who are your friends, who may be your family, who may be co-workers, who say, you're doing too much. I don't even know why you even bothering. Why are you doing that for? Those are the people that you need to turn a deaf ear to and a blinded eye to. That's what I pray for myself. I pray for my children. And I tell them, those people you need to turn a deaf ear to. They have no business speaking into your life. Pray. Ask God. God, send who you want to be connected to. Help me to hear what I need to hear. Discernment. Sharpen my discernment so I'll know who's for me and who's not for me. And then once you drop those people, then you'll see. Then you can start focusing on yourself. Because paying attention to those other people keep you from taking care of yourself. Now that's something I'm still working on. Because y'all, I should have been taking a break a long time ago. That's why I sound like I sound. My children told me, get some rest. My friends told me, get some rest. My job told me, get some rest. And I had to get to this point before I said, okay, I'm going to rest. I'm going to rest. So I'm still working on it, taking care of your part. But understand, it's a very important part. You have to take care of you. Because for those who do depend on you, whether it be your children or you got somebody in your household you have to take care of, you can't take care of nobody else if you're falling apart. I'm expecting my new grandbaby any day now.
Oh,
And I got to be ready.
yes, honey.
So I got to start taking care of myself so I can be there for my little princess Janae. Because she's coming. And then I need to be ready. So for those who out there listening, and for you who wrote that tag, cut the naysayers out your life. Ask God for guidance. He'll guide you. He'll send who you need. But make sure that you're listening. He's always speaking. We don't always listen. So make sure that you're listening. Pray. Seek his guidance. Ask. We have not because we ask not. Ask. He's your father. I call him daddy. I can go to my daddy and ask him whatever I want to ask him. And if it's his will, he's going to give it to me. So seek him. And get those people off your back. You're not built to carry them. Give them to God. Let him handle that. He can carry all that baggage. He can carry all that luggage. That's what he's there for. Get them off your back. Drop them and turn your focus on you. And watch how God work it out. It's time to end the show. I thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Donella.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Yes, honey.
I love her. I do. I love her. I love her spirit. I thank you guys for tuning in. Catch me next fourth Monday of September for our next show. I'll be back with the Michelle G Show right here on Regina Sunshine Global Network. Tune in then. You can catch me every second and fourth Monday on the Be Inspired with Michelle G Show on Blog Talk Radio. Go check out my Facebook page. It's Michelle G, Michelle Gerald. And you can check out my business page, which is Peace and Mixtures, because you all know that I am a certified aromatherapist. So check that page out if you want to order some body butters, body scrubs. And just be looking on my pages for what I got upcoming. All right? Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next month.